Welcome. This is HR That Works President Don Finn. In 5 minutes, I'm going to share with you why HR is so high risk. Now, to begin with, on the link below here, there's a little PDF we put together, 149 things to worry about in HR. And the reason we do that is to just basically help people understand the size of the risk. There's so many moving parts to HR, and each one of these factors has a risk attendant to it. Now, can you master all of them? No, but let's master at least the most important ones. And the reality is that HR is the second highest risk area in your organization. I've always believed that sales and marketing is the greatest risk. You know, one salesperson out sells another one 2 to 1. That's 100% variance. That's why there's so much risk there, and that's why so much of training dollars and education material is spent on sales and marketing, roughly 50% of all in the system. The second highest risk is HR, and it's at least 10% of your payroll. So say you have $1 million payroll, the variance or the risk or the cost is going to be at least $100,000. Now, you can't run any other part of your business with that size variance. Imagine you had that kind of variance in finances, a 10% variance. You'd be in jail. Had a 10% variance in delivering professional services, E&O claim all the time. 10% variance in product manufacturing, product liability suits all the time. But 10% variance in HR, heck, we're just like everybody else, which means that the opportunity costs are enormous. It's not just the risk of what comes out of your pocket in this area. Just like with sales, not with what comes out of your pocket, what goes into your pocket is a large risk in HR as well. Companies with 15 to 500 employees are in the greatest compliance risk area of all. Companies with less than 15 employees, a lot of the laws don't apply yet. There's a close, generally family-type culture in those environments, and they're not a juicy target for lawyers. Companies with more than 500 employees tend to have high-end HR executives, maybe more than one. They have the PHRs, the SPHRs, and they really know the law, and they're familiar, and they use programs like HR That Works and other programs on a regular basis. So they bring a lot of education and discipline. It's that company that's halfway between the family culture and halfway into professional culture that doesn't generally have full-time HR people. 2/3 of our members have full-time HR, and when they are full-time HR, they get so overwhelmed by administrative obligations that they don't do very much strategic to deal with these high-risk costs. So they're most at risk, and that's who we focus our program on helping. Now, there's a big thing to understand in the risk management field of HR. There's both insurable risks and uninsurable risks. So a classic example of an insurable risk is somebody files a sexual harassment claim. You know, you can get defense costs, and you can cap your liability at $25,000 to $50,000. According to a survey we just did, 45% of companies out there still don't have employment practices liability insurance, which is really insane. It's for a couple of grand, you can cap your insurable risk at 25 or 50 grand, you do it. And that's really, remember, on a list of the 7 most important things in HR, getting sued is number 7. The top 6 risks in HR, not hiring people, not getting them to perform, not retaining them, all those types of things, are completely uninsurable risks. So when I ask executives all around the country, how much did your last bad hire cost you, business owners start at 50 grand because they're not thinking the receptionist. You can't insure against that. You can't insure against losing your best salesperson. You can't insure against somebody slamming you on a social media site. So the uninsurable risk dwarf the insurable risk, especially if you have employment practices liability insurance. Now, the best way to deal with all of this is to have great HR practices when it comes to hiring, when it comes to performance, when it comes to retention, and all of those tools, including all of the compliance tools, are available on HR That Works. So if you're a member on it, use the program. If you haven't gotten to see the program, come on a demo with me, watch one of our store demos, and then come on board. Look forward to talking to you in the next 5-minute webinar. Thank you.